Okay, I think it's about time to get this show on the road. Good morning, folks. My name is Emilio Gonzalez. I'm the Assistant Community Development Officer here with LISC NYC, and thank you for joining us for this morning's session. Just some general guidance and house rules. For those of you that might be joining late, we have all attendees muted with their camera off. If you have any questions throughout the duration of the presentation, please feel free to put them in the Q&A or the chat box, and we'll get to them throughout the presentation, but most likely towards the end of the presentation, we've set aside some time for question and answers for anything that might come up throughout the panelists' remarks. And secondly, for those of you who have colleagues or partners who might not have been able to make the session, to attend the session, we'll be recording this webinar. So we'll send it around. You can share with any of your peers or any other constituents in your neighborhood that might be interested in becoming a part or joining this program, taking advantage of this opportunity. And with that, I will introduce Valerie White, Executive Director of LISC NYC. Thank you.
Thank you, Emilio, and good morning, everyone. Welcome to LISC NYC's Verizon Small Business Digital Ready program. Again, my name is Valerie White, and I'm Executive Director of LISC NYC. The Local Initiative Support Corporation, or LISC, is a national nonprofit that was established in 1980. We equip underserved communities with capital, strategy, and the know-how to become places where low and moderate income Americans can thrive. At LISC NYC, we are one of 37 local offices, but we are the flagship office, and we support local partners whose services and programs aim to create a more equitable, inclusive, and sustainable New York City. Emilio, next slide, please. Since April 2020, LISC NYC's investment strategy has been guided by 3 pillars. The first is radical healing that counters racial bias and inequity, including through community safety, creative placemaking, and arts initiatives. The second is an inclusive transformation that prioritizes human talent, community health, diverse enterprises, innovation, and public infrastructure. And the third is sustainable wealth generation in communities of color, including through ownership, asset building, and career ladders. Now, as we have seen, the 2020 COVID-19 pandemic has wreaked havoc on small businesses, particularly small businesses owned by Black, Latinx, and women. Though through implementation of public health policies and restrictions, although aimed to curb the spread of infection, this has caused many small businesses to halt their operations. This resulted in many small businesses incurring revenue loss, debt accumulation, and some ultimately permanent closure of their doors. Here at LISC NYC, we were able to secure critical relief funds to support those minority businesses that experienced pandemic-related economic hardship. Gratefully, one of the many of our corporate partners to step up and collaborate with LISC was and continues to be Verizon. To date, the LISC and Verizon partnership has provided several $1 million for support through relief and recovery grants to hundreds of small businesses across the nation. Here in New York City alone, Verizon's contributions have supported over 300 minority-owned businesses who received $10,000 in relief grants each, which has led to over 1,000 jobs being retained across various industries. As it stands, small businesses are in recovery phase from the pandemic and are attempting to find ways of sustaining their operations and grappling with new business practices and strategies, all in the hopes of business continuity. Here at LISC NYC, we are excited to announce another initiative with Verizon, the launch of the Verizon Small Business Digital Ready program. The program platform is designed to give small businesses the personalized tools to succeed in today's digital world. The platform also allows small businesses to access resources, and develop business knowledge that will support them with personalized learning, expert coaching, and peer networking. So very shortly, you will hear more details about the program and the 4 LISC partners providing program support across New York City. I want to thank you all for joining us and hope you will not only consider participating, but also sharing this information with other small business owners in your network. Thank you again. Please take advantage of the information you'll hear today. And at this point, I'd like to introduce Ibrahima Soare, Senior Community Development Officer, to continue with the program.
Thank you, Valerie, for providing those welcoming remarks. I want to welcome everyone as well and saying good morning and happy Monday. My name is Ibrahima, again, Senior Community Development Officer with LISC NYC. We are thrilled to have you all join us this morning as we introduce the Verizon Small Business Digital Ready program. Before we continue, please allow us to take a brief moment and share the following video highlight reel. Emilio, can you help us with that?
There are so many talented people that have the skills to grow and scale a business, but there are a few critical steps away from knowing how to do so.
Branding has a huge impact on small businesses because it's really what allows your customer to connect with you.
A small business needs to think about legal structures because you may be personally liable in the event that something goes wrong in your business.
Everyone has a story to tell. So is every business. If you have a story to tell, you have a business.
Efficiency lies in the details. That is the key to running an efficient business. But how do you identify what those details are?
Content marketing is a long-term strategy. If you take the time to engage your audience, the revenue will come.
In this story, we will take a look at options for financing a small business.
Head over to the activity.
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 And test out your new knowledge.
I want you to get that high score.
Thank you, Emilio, for sharing that video. What you all have just watched, the highlight video montage of the Verizon Small Business Digital Ready program. The Verizon Digital Ready program is a virtual platform that is the result of a collaborative effort between LISC, Verizon, and NextStreet as a response to supporting small businesses becoming more familiar with today's digital economy. By 2030, Verizon has set a bold goal of providing critical resources to 1 million small businesses across the United States. Prior to program launch, LISC, Verizon, and NextStreet convened a task force of small business owners and local community small business advisors to comprehend how best to address the business skills and knowledge gaps of small businesses. As a result, the platform is simple to use, offers relatable content, and includes engaging materials. Next slide. The Verizon Small Business Digital Ready platform has curated contents that speak to the various aspects and interests of small business owners. In addition to the virtual workshops, small businesses will have the opportunity to access one-on-one coaching and mentoring all through the platform itself. The program continues to expand. Small business advisors will facilitate these coaching mentoring opportunities. In addition, As small business continue to learn and engage with the platform, there will be incentive opportunities, which will include, but are not limited to, accessing business tools and resources, such as financial management products, Verizon small business products, in addition to that, small business grants, and many more. Next slide. On this slide, you will see the list of 20 workshop topics currently available on the Small Business Digital Ready platform. As you will note, the topics all range from different topics, from branding, marketing, operations, business credit and finance readiness, cybersecurity, disaster recovery, and even government contracting. These topics are not in any particular order, meaning just because you see one being listed doesn't necessarily mean that you have to go through that track. Small business owners can take courses in whichever order interests them. Topics will be expanded beyond the current list. Next slide. The module design promotes ways to involve participants in the learning process via activities rather than having them just passively listen. Each module is a 30-minute mixture of introductory terminology, instructional videos, learning activities, knowledge checks, and also taking actionable next steps. Through feedback information captured through our engagement with our local stakeholders, the Small Business Digital Ready program was created with the intention to make the content, again, relatable, easily understandable, and engaging. Central to the Small Business Digital Ready platform and the marketing of this platform is our small business supporters on a local level. Next slide. Critical to LISC success as a national nonprofit community development organization, again, is our local partners. For the next section of today's session, you will hear from four of our local partners, spread across New York City, who are helping small business owners to leverage this platform. As was noted by our executive director, last year was wreaked havoc for small businesses. I'm sorry, once again, but we were able to leverage resources from Verizon and other corporate partners in engaging over 16 of our community partners. Here are 4 of them who has stepped up to assist us in this piloting of the Verizon Digital Ready Small Business Program. You'll hear from Bridge Street Development Corporation, who's located in Brooklyn. You'll also hear from Staten Island Chamber. You'll also hear from Rockaway Development and Revitalization Corporation. And lastly, Uptown Grand Central, covering the Harlem area. Now, these are our 4 initial partners that are helping us to launch this program. We do envision to expand beyond these 4 partners as we venture into the new year. But I'd like to take this time to introduce 2 of our partners, speakers from Bridge Street Development Corporation. First being Mr. Gregory Anderson, who is the president and CEO of Bridge Street Development Corporation, and also his senior program director, Ms. Oma Holloway.
Thank you, Hima, and thank you, Valerie. Good morning, everyone. I'm Gregory Anderson, President and CEO of Bridge Street Development. And as mentioned, with me this morning is our Senior Program Director, Oma Holloway. Bridge Street Development is proud to partner with LISC, the Staten Island Chamber, Rockaway Development and Revitalization Corp., and Uptown Grand Central on the Verizon Small Business Digital Ready program. Next slide, please. Founded in 1995 and based in Bedford-Stuyvesant, Brooklyn, Bridge Street is a nonprofit community development corporation, and we take a holistic approach to addressing racial inequity and social injustice through a wide range of programs and services focused on community engagement, economic development, and financial empowerment. I believe one of the most valuable lessons and reminders of the COVID-19 pandemic has been the importance of partnership and collaboration in the midst of a crisis. Next slide, please. As shown here, we build partnerships. Our history as partner, member, and fiscal sponsor of the Tompkins Avenue Merchants Association was critical to our ability to successfully orchestrate 23 weeks of Tama Sundays under the New York City Open Streets program, delivering much needed foot traffic and revenues to the many small businesses along this commercial corridor. Tama Sundays, we're proud to say, was named one of the best open streets program in the city. Additionally, through our partnership with New York City Small Business Services, we recently completed a commercial district needs assessment of 6 commercial corridors in Bedford-Stuyvesant. We also provide wide-ranging direct technical assistance to numerous small businesses, including, most importantly, access to capital, including loans and grants. We are extremely proud and appreciative of our longstanding partnership with LISC. Since the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic, Bridge Street has partnered with LISC in connecting small businesses with funding through the Paycheck Protection Program. And we have assisted 17 businesses in obtaining close to $100,000 in direct funding from LISC. Here to tell you more about it all is Omar Holloway. You're muted.
Thank you, Gregory. I'm still working out mute and unmute. I would like to just continue with what Gregory talked about, the services that we provide at Bridge Street Development Corporation. As he said, we have always had a long-standing presence in the Bedford-Stuyvesant community and throughout Central Brooklyn in providing support to our small businesses, particularly minority and women-owned businesses. Through our partnership with LISC, we've been able to expand that, as he said, by providing relief and recovery grants, technical assistance, and support and information that helps support our small businesses. As you can see by the flyers presented, these are just some of the ways we've been able to assist our small businesses as well as some of our nonprofits in making sure that they acquire the information needed to obtain and secure grants and loans, and also providing technical assistance that not only support them in the current pandemic crisis, but to move them forward. And also serve as partners with our businesses to see how we can expand and increase foot traffic and improve their, increase their revenue in their community. We can go to the next slide. Here is one of our businesses that received the $10,000 grant from LISC. This is the Brown Butter and Craft Bar and Kitchen. The owner is Miriam Nichols, who has been in the community for quite a while. She received the grant. She's been featured on Pix 11 with LISC to discuss the challenges that small businesses, particularly minority businesses, have faced. And she's also a member of the Tompkins Avenue Merchants Association and participated in the Open Streets initiative that we sponsored this summer. She was also named the best biscuits on Tompkins Avenue and really in Brooklyn and probably the city. So we're really excited about that. And we are working with her to participate in the Verizon Small Business Digital Ready program. The next slide, please. Another business that did receive the LISC grant and is part of the network that we are reaching out to participate with Verizon is a Spiked Spin, which is located on Fulton Street in Bedford-Stuyvesant. It's created by Rihanna Thompson. It's an indoor cycling studio. And as we know, many of our fitness centers were hit hard through COVID, but we are excited about that she's back on track. And we are looking to make sure that not only does she benefit from having some financial support, but that she's also thriving in Bedford-Stuyvesant. Next slide, please.
Shop your city.
So one of the things that we provide is support. We really want to promote the businesses in Bedford-Stuyvesant, and we have a partnership with Small Business Services that helps enhance and profiles many of our businesses. What's exciting about this 1-minute video is that it was taking place at one of our open street events on Tompkins Avenue, but it actually shows 3 of the businesses that received, no, actually 4 of the businesses that received LISC grant and are part of our Tompkins Avenue network of about 36 paid members of the Tompkins Avenue Merchants Association. And they have already started to sign up for the Verizon Small Business Digital Ready program to provide additional technical assistance. So we just wanted to share this because I think this is also an important part of how we support our small businesses in Brooklyn.
Bed-Stuy. Bed-Stuy is all about community. Experience that and some of the best coffee at Brooklyn Kettle and the Narrative House. Welcome to Tumbleweed, Bed-Stuy's very own general store. Eclectic apparel, guided meditation, and lots of love. And I especially love the socks. Don't wait till you're sick to visit the Bush Dr. Juice Bar. The best smoothies, juices, and more. The wrapped crystal jewelry at Mary's Hand Jewelry is actually made by hand by my friend, Mary Warworth. Crisp, rich, bold. When it's time for wine, come to Bedvine for the best craft wines. Black Girl Sew is a nonprofit that teaches sustainability, and you can find their products here at Botanical Life and Style. While Wadadley is getting ready to open up their new storefront, they're bringing their entire jerk menu to the streets of Bed-Stuy. Look at the line. In Bed-Stuy, come prepared to be wild.
So as you can see, we are so proud of our businesses. We are available to continue providing support and the partnership with LISC and this opportunity to be part of the pilot for the Verizon Small Business Digital Ready program is just another piece of our toolkit to provide services to businesses in Brooklyn. The next slide, I think this is how you can contact us. And Tiara Robertson is our Commercial Revitalization Program Manager, and Timur Nanakishvili is our Community Outreach Coordinator. And we can provide technical assistance, and we'll be offering monthly workshops to make sure that we provide information about the Verizon program, as well as other grants and resources available to small businesses. Thank you, and I'm looking forward to hearing from you.
Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Gregory and Oma, for giving an overview of your organization and the partnership we've had over these past several years rather, and all the work you've been doing in supporting small businesses in your catchment area and across Brooklyn. And we look forward to continuing this work as we have launched the Verizon Small Business Digital Ready program. Next up is another partner out in Staten Island Chamber. We have Miss Linda Barron, who is the president and CEO of the Chamber. She'll also be joined by Miss Janet Dugo, who is the project manager of the Downtown Staten Island Commercial District. Janet and Linda, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Ibrahima. Good morning, everyone. It's so nice to be here as we launch another exciting partnership with LISC New York City and the good folks at Verizon. As mentioned, my name is Linda Barron. I'm the president of the Staten Island Chamber of Commerce. A little about the Chamber. We represent the interests and serve as the voice of about 12,000 businesses here on Staten Island of all sizes and sectors. We're a member-based organization with nearly 600 active members. We were established in 1895. We're now celebrating over 125 years of service to our community. We provide services to support businesses in 4 main areas: networking, education, advocacy, and workforce development. The most favorite thing that I feel that we do is provide direct services to small businesses. You know, the small mom and pops that are out there on the corner working in their business every day. We are part of a small business resource network with the 5 chambers. We have a partnership with SBS. We do a Chamber on the Go program. So we're continually out there trying to serve the businesses in our community and help them in any way that we can. More recently, we've gotten involved in neighborhood development. In particular, we're doing a great deal of work in downtown Staten Island in the neighborhoods of St. George, Tompkinsville, and Stapleton. This is an ethnically diverse, low to moderate income district with many immigrant and women-owned businesses. In 2018, we partnered with LISC on a storefront enhancement grant program, and we assisted 15 businesses to improve their properties. This past year has been especially challenging for the merchants of downtown Staten Island, as it has been for most merchants on Staten Island. It's been a real struggle with the pandemic shutdowns and the changing regulations. So we've been providing direct one-on-one counseling and assistance, connecting merchants to tangible resources. For example, we are grateful to LISC for stepping up in these trying times and once again partnering with the Staten Island Chamber of Commerce through their Small Business Relief and Recovery Program. We helped 8 struggling businesses, each receive $10,000 grants, and what a difference it made. Huge impact. So at this time, I'd like to introduce Janet Dugo, who's our downtown Staten Island project manager, who's been working directly with these businesses to tell you a little bit about 3 businesses that we helped.
Good morning, everyone. As Linda mentioned, I'm Janet Dugo. I've been working directly with the businesses on Staten Island, and I would like to share some highlights about three specific businesses we've helped. So first up is Emilio La Rosa of Vincent's Barbershop. 20 years ago, Emilio immigrated from Uruguay and began working at his barbershop, Vincent's Barbershop. In 2014, the owner retired and sold the business to him. It stands at the center of Stapleton and is a neighborhood institution with a steady, loyal customer base. As many barbershops are, it's something of a neighborhood gathering place. He employs several people and keeps the shop looking attractive and neat, both inside and out, improving the look of the commercial district. His big, clear front windows and bright lights bring vitality and add safety to the block. He supports others who are working to improve the district too. For example, he allows our clean ambassador, our street sweeper, to use his restroom facilities when needed during the workday. The pandemic forced him to close the shop for several months in 2020, and he and his family all contracted COVID. He was having difficulty paying bills. The chamber helped him successfully apply for a $10,000 grant from LISC, which has sustained the business as he works to recover. Emilio works hard every day and is part of the fabric of the neighborhood. Next slide, please. Next up, we have Evelyn Caraballo of Cindi's Jewelry. Evelyn is a single mother who has owned and operated her jewelry store in downtown Staten Island for 10 years. She has close ties to the community and keeps an attractive storefront. Her shop is an important element in a retail strip that has some empty storefronts nearby. The pandemic has been devastating to her. She struggled last year dealing with virtual learning for her school-age children and continued slow business. Having no online presence has impeded her sales, but Evelyn remains determined to stay in her shop and received assistance in the form of a $10,000 grant from LISC that was facilitated by the chamber. The chamber also applied for her to receive free website design services to make her business more resilient in the days ahead. And she has attended a learning session hosted by LISC NYC to help strengthen her operations. Evelyn's positive attitude, her commitment to the neighborhood, and her willingness to learn and grow are to be commended and bode very well for her business. And last but certainly not least, next slide please, is Richard Panchana of ImageMakers. So Richard came to the US from Ecuador, and in 2002, he began working for a textile screen printing company, producing custom printed t-shirts. In 2017, the owner of the company retired and he took over the business. Richard opened his shop on a stretch of Bay Street that had many empty storefronts, so he helped invigorate the block. Gradually, other nearby empty storefronts started coming back to life. He is a committed part of the local business community. The pandemic caused a big drop in demand for his services. The chamber assisted him in multiple ways, including helping him secure a $10,000 grant and a $14,000 PPP loan. He was provided with free personal protective equipment and a free broom and dustpan to clean outside his storefront. He also had no website, so the chamber secured him a grant for free website design services, and he currently has a very successfully running web presence. Through the Pay It Forward program, Richard received a sponsored free year of chamber membership, which is helping him connect with the rest of the community. And when his computer was disabled by a cyber attack, he was directed to free tech recovery services by us. The chamber also connected him with the SBS Business Solutions Center, and he is right now in the process of applying for MWBE certification. His business is recovering nicely, and I'm very happy to report that it's allowed him to recently hire a new employee. So those are just a few of the businesses that we've been able to assist through our partnership with LISC NYC, and we're really looking forward to assisting many more through this upcoming Digital Ready program with LISC NYC and Verizon. Thank you so much.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Linda Barron and Janet. Up next, we'd like to introduce Mr. Kevin Alexander, who is the president and CEO of Rockaway Development and Revitalization Corporation. And also joining him will be Mr. Malcolm Harewood, who is the Director of Neighborhood Preservation. Kevin, Malcolm, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Ibrahim. Thank you, Valerie. Thank you, Emilio, and also to the entire LISC NYC team and my fellow panelists for doing all the great work during these uncertain times. Well, RDRC, Rockaway Development and Revitalization Corporation, was founded in 1978. We're a hybrid organization that's been formed as a result of three smaller organizations merging into one: Rockaway Revitalization Corporation, Rockaway Local Development Corporation, and Auburn Holland Seaside Housing Corporation. While the Rockaway Revitalization Corporation focused on workforce, the Rockaway Local Development Corporation focused on commercial and residential development and working with local businesses, and the Auburn Holland Seaside Housing Corporation focused on housing assistance. And that was 1978. Until this day, we still maintain those four lines of businesses as a part of Rockaway Development and Revitalization Corporation. Our mission is to promote the revitalization of the Rockaway's economic base and neighborhoods, and to secure and improve quality of life for its residents. RDRC is located in the Rockaways, which is a peninsula in southeastern Queens, and it is bounded by both the Atlantic Ocean and Jamaica Bay. The Rockaways is known for its beautiful beach and boardwalk, vacation homes, and a thriving local arts community. Collectively, the Rockaways has 4 major commercial corridors, and overall has about 1,000 businesses that RDRC interacts with on a regular basis. Prior to the pandemic, we actually were really known for, in terms of commercial revitalization, of successfully launching a merchants association called the Rockaway East Merchants Association, doing a number of storefront improvement projects with local businesses. I think they added up to about 18 businesses that participated in that. Placemaking activities by utilizing our public space partnerships, and also working to make sure that our commercial corridors, especially in Far Rockaway, had 7-day, 365-year street cleaning services as well. Now, after the pandemic hit, we actually launched next slide, please. We launched an e-help desk to help persons, small businesses, both storefronts and persons that were emerging as entrepreneurs, seeking to become traditional storefront businesses, with a suite of services. And what I will do is save that part for Malcolm to speak about a little bit later, but it was really important for us to make sure that we also mirrored what a lot of businesses had to do, which was to have a plan and to be able to pivot during a pandemic so that we wouldn't lose the momentum that we gained leading up to the pandemic. And it was very successful for us because it also forced us to think about what a lot of small businesses have to grapple with. How do you connect with your consumers or customers? How do you make sure that they know you're available? How do you look for new opportunities? How do you engage, not just by physically hoping they come through my doors, but also making certain that they're aware that you're here? How do I conduct my business remotely? Is it DoorDash? Is it using a different type of platform? Is it using my website to be able to order online? But making sure that I give myself, or we give ourselves, every opportunity to succeed during these uncertain times. So RDRC really was able to expand its e-help desk and business services with the supports of LISC and some of the capacity building and grant making and supports for local businesses as well. So we've actually been able to sustain that, not just during the pandemic, but also as a major business line going forward for RDRC, because we realize that a number of businesses will need ongoing supports as they begin to think about and implement how they do business in this new economy that we're in right now. Next slide, please. So for us, and I've kind of touched on a couple of points, we have a vision statement for our businesses, which is really to identify resources and establish public-private partnerships, such as this LISC project, and also with Verizon Digital Readiness, that impact our local businesses, and in particular, our Black and brown businesses, so they can thrive, even in the midst of uncertain times. And we do recognize how credit and access to capital play into this. So we're always thinking about, how do we connect our Black and brown businesses with access to capital? How do we give them the educational tools that they need by leveraging grant programs and support programs like LISC and the Digital Ready project that we're involved with right now? Next slide, please. So with that, I'm going to turn this slide over to Malcolm to talk a little bit more about since the inception of the pandemic, and be very specific about some of the things that we've done. Malcolm?
Thank you, Kevin. Good morning, everyone. RDRC, through our neighborhood preservation services, has always tried to anticipate and meet the needs of our business owners. This has never been more true than during our coping with the COVID-19 pandemic. We created the new Business Resource Center with an e-help desk to specifically address the pressing needs of our business owners. Whether that need was the research and assistance in application completion and the submission for grants, loans, or PPEs, we were there. We have assisted our business owners with staying current with the city and state COVID policies affecting their businesses through our weekly newsletter. We created and circulated a business directory informing our neighborhoods as to what businesses were open, their hours, and their mode of service. RDRC has worked with the business owners to develop a digital presence. Many of them had not even had an email address. So we've assisted them with connecting on social networks and the search engines. And we believe that the participation in the Verizon Small Business Digital Ready platform, learning platform, is a natural progression in our efforts to secure the development of the businesses in our commercial districts. Thank you, Kevin.
All right, thank you. Next slide, please. So our impact, as Malcolm was saying, is basically trying to make certain that the business owners understand that we're there with them. And part of our strength is, as a trusted local partner, serving neighbors for neighborhood retail corridors, is to make certain that there's a level of trust, that the information that we give to them, the support that we provide to them, will benefit them. And we're very clear and specific about that. So when we say that our partnerships is what makes us or breaks us, it truly is the case when we think about the New York City Small Business Services Business Solutions Center. When we think about our partner LISC, in terms of what they've been able to provide to us to be able to support other businesses. That includes Clickers with a $10,000 grant, DAC Unisex, Emmanuel Childcare, Platinum Plus Unisex, Raising Hope Daycare, Station RBNY, and Universal Frontiers Travel Agency, to say this does work, but you also have to put the work in as well. And we'll help you with that, but you've got to make that commitment to growing your business as well. And so that's why we're really hopeful about the Verizon Small Business Digital Ready program, because we also have a basis of what we've done in the past, which will predicate or hopefully replicate as we go forward as well. So the partnerships are really important to us because we can't do it by ourselves, trying to cover 1,000 businesses in 4 different commercial quarters, but the commitment is there. And what we're trying to do is make sure that we get the information out there and also encourage them to take advantage of it, because it's not a given that this suite of services is always going to be free. And so take advantage of it because it will benefit your business. And the other thing is that because we're going through a revitalization, not just in downtown Far Rockaway, but throughout the Rockaways and the JFK area, that's about $20 billion worth of investment over the next 10 years. And we want to make certain from a goods and procurement and services standpoint that our local businesses, in particular, our Black and brown businesses, are able to participate and take advantage of that. And what you see as the background right here is downtown Far Rockaway. This is what was the former shopping center. This is being transformed into the village of Far Rockaway. And we want our businesses to have the opportunity, have been struggling for years, to have the advantage of whether it be an entrepreneur looking to fully go into business mode or an existing business that's looking to upgrade and be here where there are 10,000 families coming into the Rockaways to be able to capitalize on that. But it takes a lot of hard work. And we think that with the partnerships and access to resources and even grant opportunities that are out there, they can be here and representative of their community. So with that, I'd just like to thank everybody for the opportunity. And next slide, please. And this is how you can get in contact with Malcolm and myself at RDRC. And I encourage everybody listening, please register, please engage, and also tell your colleagues and co-workers, co-business owners, please take advantage of the Verizon Small Business Digital Ready program. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin and Malcolm, for giving an overview on RDRC and all the work you're doing in the Rockaway Peninsula area. Last but certainly not least, we'd like to introduce Ms. Carrie King, who is the Director of Uptown Grand Central, covering the Harlem area. Carrie, I think you're prompted, so the floor is yours. Yep, you're on mute, Carrie.
Let me try that again. Thank you so much, Ibrahima. Yes, I'm the Director of Uptown Grand Central. We are a small business development group around in East Harlem, and I'm trying to share my screen. Let's see.
Okay, if you need any help, I can just share my screen for you. If that makes
Sure,
things easier.
let's do that.
All right. Give me 1 second.
Beautiful, making my life easy. Okay, so we are a group that started along East 125th Street in East Harlem about 7 years ago when several of the small businesses got together. There'd never been any business support in this section of East Harlem, no street cleaning, nothing of that sort. So they got together and organized a street cleaning day. And that grew and grew into a full-fledged nonprofit that's now called Uptown Grand Central. You can move forward. So we're now a 501c3 nonprofit, and we are dedicated to transforming East 125th Street. Our advocacy area is 125th Street from 5th Avenue to the river. And that's where we do street cleaning, high impact, public space work, and that's where we started. So those are our small businesses that make up the core of our network. During the course of the pandemic, we've connected and supported businesses across East Harlem. So we've grown our roster during the pandemic to even more businesses that we serve, in large part thanks to LISC and Verizon. Move forward. And as I said, what we do, our first active business was street cleaning. We've now expanded from 6 guys, thanks to help with the New York City Cleanup Corps, to about 40 that are now cleaning the corridor from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. per day. That's the chief request of the businesses in our area, is that we help keep the streets clean. We have a large number of shelters and drug treatment facilities in the neighborhood, and it makes it hard to do business sometimes. So that's the chief request that we get, and we try to respond. And this year, one of the main things we did as part of COVID recovery was to paint everything that wasn't moving along the East 125th Street corridor. We painted more than half a mile of murals in partnership with some of the property owners who had construction fences that were sitting unused. And so we partner with more than 100 artists to paint, which really helps. It fills the eyeballs full of color and really draws people to the area to see the artwork, and then also support it to small businesses. In fact, yesterday we closed a new project called We Are New Yorkers, where we actually painted the faces of essential workers on the gates of the small business owners' storefronts. And so you see a group of us right there with the owner of one of our local juice bars. And then, as I said, a lot of the work that needs to be done in our part of East Harlem is in revitalizing the public spaces, so that businesses can take advantage of more people coming and more people feeling comfortable in the area. We have a community plaza that was recently tripled in size underneath the Metro North tracks at 125th Street after a construction project with DOT and EDC. And we also host a year-round farmers market in partnership with NYC that's been going for more than 5 years now after the closure of one of the large supermarkets. And just like several of our partners on the call, we've also had the pleasure of hosting Open Streets, which has just been an amazing way to connect small businesses with community members, just by bringing everything to the street. We host one on Pleasant Avenue and then another one on 101st Street, and also create events that, well, pre-COVID and hopefully now as we're powering through this thing, host larger community events such as Party on Park and a Harlem Night Market. And then one of the cool things that has been a result of the pandemic is we never really had a small business directory before the pandemic. But right when all the businesses were closing in March of last year, I just threw together this long list of places you could go and where was open and who had delivery. And then that has grown and blossomed into a full-fledged photography project where we're getting high quality photos of the small businesses and creating searchable maps and directories that's really taken it to the next level. And here you see some of the small businesses that have participated in LISC programs, including Sade Skincare. She has African skincare products. Daps Eats, who has sweet and savory jerk chicken, and Cafe Oyin, which is a family-run Mexican business. And then what we've really been excited to partner with LISC on is helping to create support and connections. We're a small organization, so a lot of what we do is refer people to places where they can get really smart and accurate and thoughtful help. We do weekly blasts to the small businesses that feature all the resources. We also host regular sessions with elected officials. The bottom right corner is a picture of a cleanup we did with our council member, who's very accessible and likes to come out and make sure that we're responding with the right policies to help the small businesses survive. And then these are some other the things that we do just in terms of advocacy and connecting with our community. Partner with the 125th Street Task Force with Councilmember Ayala. We're working on the Sanitation Garage Task Force with the NYPD, with SBS, with DOT, and all the different agencies to make sure we can strengthen our work here with the small businesses. And our website is uptowngrandcentral.org. We're so excited to be partnering on the digital program. Now that during the pandemic, everyone, all of our small businesses are now much more savvy in their ability to connect online and on Zoom and digitally. And so this is going to be a great way to increase business education in the neighborhood. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Carrie, for giving an overview on Uptown Grand Central and all the work you're doing in Harlem, particularly in East Harlem. Your partnership along with Rockaway, RDRC, SIC, in addition to that Bridge Street. And I have checked our attendees that we do have other partners that have been participating with us. I just want to be able to acknowledge particularly you four who have stepped up to assist us in this pilot launch of the Verizon Digital Ready. At this time here now, we're going to transition to Q&A. If there are any questions or comments or for myself and the LISC team, or be it with for any of our partners that presented, please utilize this time now to submit those questions, and we'll do our best to address them. And Amelia will monitor our Q&A session.
Thank you, Ibrahim. So just to get things started, we have a question about the recording of the webinar. How should folks expect to get access to the webinar recording?
Yes, as we mentioned earlier, so the webinar is being recorded, rather. In addition to that, each of the presenters' content that they shared about their organization and highlighting of their small businesses, we will share this with every individual that had registered. In addition to that, we will make it available on our LISC NYC website, so folks can be able to replay it.
Thank you for that, Ibrahima. We have another question that just came in from Pauline. Is the class pre-recorded? Do we learn at our own pace?
Great question, Pauline. Yes, these workshops or the contents are all pre-recorded. We had showed a video highlight earlier on. Those were some of the instructors and also current small business owners that will be facilitating the sessions and various topics that are there. And yes, it is self-paced, so you can be able to take the time that you need. And it is all online, so you can be practically anywhere, either in the country or in the world, and have access to it. So yes.
Thank you, Ibrahima and Pauline. Just a question myself, what type of businesses should be applying or should be taking advantage of this program?
Yes, to clarify, it's small businesses, and that can be rather sort of vague because of different definitions. But ideally, we're looking for businesses that are generating revenues that are less than $1 million. If you're more than that, that's okay. If you have less than 100 employees, would also be ideal. Most of the small businesses that were highlighted by our community partners were micro enterprises. And for here at LISC NYC, our intention is really to support those micro enterprises or those really small mom and pop businesses and entrepreneurs, because they oftentimes are the ones that do not have the infrastructure in place and may not have the full business skills and knowledge that's necessary to take their business to the next level. So that's part of the reason why we've engaged our community partners, because again, they know who would be the best fit or the ideal small business that needs this type of resource, and they can be able to leverage it. So again, it's really small businesses, micro enterprises really being the sweet spot or the niche that we're looking to target.
Perfect. Thank you for that, Ibrahim. And we have another question that just came in. Is this a new grant geared specifically for digital presence, regardless of whether or not you received the LISC grant last year?
Great question. So yes, this is not limited to those who receive grants from LISC. It's open. So both grantees and non-grantees. Again, Verizon has essentially almost a 10-year goal of reaching 1 million businesses leveraging this platform. So, this is a national initiative, which LISC has been tapped. We have 4 other local offices that are also running or participating in this program and have also identified their local partners. So yes, it's not limited to just LISC small business grantees, but those that are connected and also not connected with LISC.
Thank you for that answer. We have another question. If we need help, do we reach out to our local representation or local representative? For example, Rockaway Development and Revitalization Corporation.
Yes. Part of the reason why we wanted to introduce our partners, our 4 partners that are participating, is to introduce them to any small business that's either listening or been participating, to familiarize themselves with these organizations. Yes, there are other notable organizations on a local level that are doing tremendous work with LISC we're working with, and others as well. But if you're looking to access the Verizon Digital Ready platform, we'd prefer that you reach out to one of these local partners in the various neighborhoods and across the city to be able to be introduced. They have access to the platform. They've been trained and they understand how to support you, and also can guide you to the appropriate content that would be most helpful for whatever business endeavor or goals you may have.
So you alluded to this a little bit in your answer just now, but someone asked, when will this program begin and how does one register to partake?
Great. So the program launched. We're about a little bit over a month into the launch, and we're in its pilot phase. So these are the initial 4 organizations. They're aggressively marketing to their current business constituents. But in addition to that, we want to ensure that the New York City metropolitan area and all the small businesses and all of our partners are aware of this, so that the word of mouth can be able to be shared, and then we can have more folks aware of this resource that is free, can be utilized. So yes, we want you all to essentially leverage our partners. It's already been launched, and it's in its pilot phase right now. We envision it to expand as year 2022 looms ahead.
So we have one more question more on the content related to the program. And the question asks, does Verizon Digital Ready program show how to create and get Google Analytics? I need help with tracking who visits my website.
So yes, there is a content workshop on there called the SEO, Search Engine Optimization. There's also listing of making yourself more digitally connected and available. In our, Amelia, if you don't mind, if you can scroll back up to, I believe, slide 7 or, after this, right? Yeah, there you go. So one of the courses, as you see there, is search engine optimization. There is working virtually. So this is the listing of what's currently available on the platform. So the question that you're asking there about, leveraging Google Analytics, usually that is through the SEO. So that's one of the contents that will be covered.
Thank you for that answer, Ibrahima. And that seems to be all the questions we have.
Excellent. And one last thing I'll share in regards to our local partners that have joined us and are listening in. You too can be able to tap into the platform. There is a way for you all to be able to have access and again, leverage it in connecting or sharing the information with your businesses. So if you contact me or Emilio, we'll be able to direct you accordingly. But again, we do encourage you to, if you can, connect with our 4 partners that are here. Excellent. We're now at the top of the hour. We want to thank all of our presenters, from our Executive Director, Valerie White, to Bridge Street, to Staten Island Chamber, to Rockaway Development Revitalization, and Uptown Grand Central. I want to thank my colleague Emilio for controlling all the technical backend on Zoom, and all of our attendees. We do appreciate you joining us this morning. We hope the information was helpful and that you're excited to leverage this resource and share amongst your constituents. With that being said, again, thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day and week. Thank you.